All right, Joe. I want to end this before James closes it out. With the idea of this podcast, we've been asking some of the questions. You've answered some of them without even us asking them, but we asked a lot of our players if they had any questions for you. So we're going to end. We have the top 6 or 7 from them that I just want to rapid fire to you, and you give me first thing that comes to mind, quick answers, and we'll try to run through them before we wrap up. Cool?
Very good.
All right. So question number 1. Did you have or do you have any family members that were professional soccer players?
Immediate family or?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Have you played professionally, and if so, what players did you play with? I think you answered the first part of that question, but what players did you play with?
I played with,
or against.
Or against?
Yeah.
Well, there were, let me see, we had, the team I played for was the New England Team Men, and in New England, they had, most of the players came from England. And there was, there was Cat Keelan, who he played for the national team, Mick Flanagan, Peter Carr, Roger Gibbons. These were all players that maybe people in England might know. I don't know anybody know here. But, there were teams we played against that we played against the Cosmos, and they had Franz Beckenbauer, they had Pele. Well, Pele had retired when I was there just about. And he was on the sidelines. He was still with the team. But there was, Rudy Kroll. There was Carlos Alberto. You name it. The Cosmos were the the team. Actually, I had the best seat in the house because I didn't play. And, you get to meet all these players. And thinking about it now, I still have chills thinking about the players that, I was able to meet.
Go for it. Tell a story. Tell the Pele.
Well, Pele.
I've heard this, but I want everyone else
was
to hear
great.
This as well.
And I was on the bench. He was on the bench too because he wasn't playing. He comes off the field, and Pele, when he finished his career, he had finished the year before anyway, and he came to see the Cosmos and playing. They played against us, and at the end of the game, he, like all the players, went and shook hands with the other players, and he went and shook hands with all the players on the field, having not played, and then he came over to the side of the field and he hugged every one of the guys on the bench. And I was like, I melted. It was just unbelievable day.
All right.
But I had seen him before once.
What about the love story?
Oh yeah, well, that was at his testimonial at the end, and he went and Pele just said 3 words. He said, "Repeat these 3 words after me." He said, and everybody in the crowd is standing. There was like about 100,000 people. And he goes to the crowd, he had a microphone, he says, "Love." And everybody chanted, "Love, love, love." He said love 3 times. And, and those things stay in people's mind. And getting back to what you were saying before, what made me love this game? Moments like that. I see moments that we create here at the Academy and that will be in these kids' mind.
For sure. I still have them.
Yeah, you have those moments. I'm sure that there's in experiences, like not only stories that you told them, but one of the stories that I really think, had affected a lot of people. When the World Cup was here in 1994, that picture behind you right there, that's James with Roberto Baggio, one of the best players in the world. We went to visit we went to the Pingree School in Jersey, the game before they played against Ireland, and we were invited I took a couple of kids, and so I took him and this kid named Gianfranco and Jeffrey Hirsch. I remember the 3 kids. His dad got the tickets, so we went to see their practice, and it was, James could tell you about it, because he was 5 years old, and you can hear a pin drop while everybody's on the field. And the kids were there just looking, and only one thing I had James because he was sitting next to me like this here with his arm, looking at the players coming onto the field, and he's pulling on my shirt. Dad, that's Baggio. That's Baggio. I says, yeah, that's Baggio. I see him. And I don't know if you remember James.
No, I do. That's why I was gonna say is that it's funny that I don't remember what I did yesterday, but I do remember that event, and that had a really big impact on me personally. And as you said and pointed out earlier in our conversation, soccer's been around me my whole life. Whether it's actually a soccer ball, or there's a soccer game, or there's a family members talking about soccer, whether it's teams or just everything in general. So it's had a major impact on me. But that day, that event, being fortunate to go and witness it, and me realizing how into the practice I still to this day enjoy just watching a training session. Whether we were in, I think it was 5 years ago in Portugal, and there was like a fifth division team having a training session with nobody into the bleachers or anything, and I just sat there and was watching and just looking at what's happening, why they're doing that. It's very difficult for me to know. I don't know the plans, but I think that comes from that moment when I was younger and having that experience. And it helps to know Baggio and Signori and Donadoni and Pagliuca and everybody, and saying, oh my gosh, I see these guys in front of me. But it was a big impact on me. So, and I want to share. Yeah, I vividly remember.
Do you remember the story how you got Baggio got you pick you up and put you?
Yeah, and I mean, it's doing things here. Some people are like, "Oh no, James is not shy." Not only am I shy to this day, even at 5 years old, I wanted nothing to do with my idol. And very nervous about the idea of leaving my father to go into Baggio's arms. And then at the same time, I had a ball, and fortunately I got the whole ball signed by the.
If you see it, that ball over there, and it's signed by him.
Yeah,
and he had it in his hand, and Baggio came up to him, and Baggio Signori. There was and I don't know who else was there, but I think it was Baggio and Signori. Oh, and
Dino Baggio.
And he comes up, and James had the ball at his foot, like this here. And Baggio went up to him as to like take it away, to go like this here. And James pulled the ball back on him, and he went nuts. Yeah. He goes, oh my God, look at this.
No chance. He had no chance.
No chance. He pulled the ball back on him. So I said, here, pick it up. I said, can you? So they started to him, and Signori started talking about it. He says, wow. He says, oh, look at this little kid. He pulled the ball back on me. You know, it's obviously in a time. And he goes, so I said, come on, take a picture of him. And he's holding on to my leg. I said, James, come take your picture of Baggio. I said, I want to get next to him. and I had to drag him over there, if you could notice.
And with the photo being behind me, with the photo, like that photo is here. And without that push, and this is a message just to everyone, is we all need push. We need a push from outside coaches and teachers and parents and family members to either get out of your comfort zone and do something that they know is best for you, you know. And if you as the father said, okay, no problem, Jamesy, come stay over here, you won't get the picture. I don't have this picture behind me.
That's right.
You know, and you knowing that important. So it's like, go. You have to go and take the photo, and we have the photo, and that's just a little example of, no, you have to do the class. Like, go. You have to go into the pre-K class. You have to go into that game. You have to go in and allowing our youth to be exposed to challenges.
You have to if you want to that for your kid or that for yourself. You know, it's very difficult, you know, in the beginning for kids, and there are kids like that that are shy, and that's fine. But little by little, you draw them in, and you know, if they see enough of it. I mean, I see now there's some kids in the futures and before. I mean, those kids are like unbelievable. They're all like have this energy and passion, and like I watch the Instagram with all the leagues on a Saturday. I can't wait. By the way, Saturday. And and you hear Angelo, it's a goal, and then this kid comes celebrating on his knees, his hands up in the air, and and drawing the passion is what we do.
That's what we grew up on. That you announcing games from the golf cart while we're playing afternoon games.
The golf cart's still
The
here.
golf cart's still here.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's older than me.
Those are my memories. Just listening to commentate our games, and even if we came in last place during the week, you still showed the same amount of love and passion and energy if we won the league at the end of the week. So
Right.
that's what we try to instill to this day here. So
All right.
moving on, though, I want to get to more of these questions. Who is your favorite manager and why?
I think everybody is going to expect me to say, like, well, I'm not going to say Allegri because
You better not.
I already made
Just
that
kidding.
clear to you.
Yeah, we've had side conversations. No one needs to know about that. We'll maybe do another episode of that one.
And I think a lot of people are probably going to say this name to me, and Pep Guardiola is the god of, and it's between Pep and Carletto. I actually
Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah,
I had a feeling. I had a feeling you were going to say that over Pep.
You look at Pep and Carlo, not a different kind of personalities, but the message, they're able to get the respect of guys that are getting paid, $100 million a season, So
not because you look more like him and you're also Italian, but I do think that your style and the way you see the game is more Carletto than Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say that. Well, because of obviously because
Not just the Italian, not just the Italian roots.
The Italian mentality is, like mine is like I'm a straight shooter when it comes to the game. I know how I feel about it, not just from experience as a player, as a coach, or anything like that. But I've always taken advice, and we always learn something. Like even today, I'm learning, and a lot of people say, who was your idol, the guy you learned the most from? I learned more from you kids, from the guys that work here at the camp, and I learn more from the kids and how they play on the field, and how they're playing. Because we're saying, we as educators, we're educating, but we're learning what their capabilities are so that makes you a better educator. And
So
that's
true.
where I would say Carlo, Ancelotti, and Guardiola are the best. The other ones are, I can name 10
Yeah.
different coaches that have a positive influence, but they have
top
also
five.
them.
Top five.
Top
I would
five
say
Top five.
top five. I would go with Guardiola, Ancelotti, Mourinho.
of all time, by the way, not right now.
I like
Top five
of
coaches.
all time, Mourinho. Well, he mentions a guy that looks like me, and he won the World Cup. Marcello Lippi. Marcello Lippi was, you look at him in Italy, and I'm not doing this because of bias, because of all these Italian coaches. But
Nah, you just put two of them in the top
I
five.
put two of them in the top five. But Marcello Lippi was the man. And you know what? A guy that people don't know, the year that Italy came here and came second, Arrigo Sacchi
Yep. I was just gonna say.
was a genius. And seeing the practice that he conducted that time, it stemmed from from what some of my philosophy, because you develop a philosophy based on what you learn through your entire
Mhm.
life, and your philosophy really could change.
I'm interested to get your take on this because Saki was a little bit before my time, but what was it about him that made him so good? Was it in the way of Pep where he like revolutionized the game, or was it something already there that he just made?
No, he tweaked it. It's always the catenaccio is what Italy is known for
Yep.
years, but he sort of changed that. He tweaked it where he got the backs forward a little bit more, and it wasn't all strictly, a tight catenaccio. But then again, he had Franco Baresi in the back. you know,
Maldini.
Maldini, Baresi, you got these guys in the back, Zambrotta. Did Zambrotta play for?
I don't think so. I think he was a little bit after.
No, it was after.
Which you bring up something that we can add to this question.
Oh, Nesta. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think so. What we can add to this question is manager, most important, players, quality of players, most important, or a mixture of both.
Who is like a manager, quality of players?
So okay, so you just mentioned, okay, so you said that Arrigo Sacchi, yeah, he had some new things, but at the same time he had Baresi in the back. Okay, so for example,
Baresi
you
can
just
handle the back all by himself.
so that's my question is
I'm saying if you have the
is it
personnel,
more
like-
valuable? Is it more valuable the personnel and then the quality of the coach to organize that personnel, or the quality of the coach to organize what he has or she
it has
has?
to be the coach's responsibility to see what he has and then act accordingly. I mean, if you have Baresi in the back where he can handle the middle of the back by himself, you're not going to go with 3 center backs. You know,
I think it's a question.
and he's got 2 guys out on the wing.
I
You
think
could
it's
go with 3 in the back.
I think it's a question that doesn't have an answer. You know, I think it's an answer that the answer is it depends. It depends.
It depends on the personnel that you have and how you move people on the field where they're suitable. I could go back to coaching at a high school level. There was, everybody over here.
Share that. That's important. Actually, that's more relatable.
Everybody's a forward.
Mm-hmm.
You get the kids here. Everybody thinks that over here the glory goes to the forwards and stuff like that. And I was the assistant coach. No, actually, I was a head coach of a team in Scarsdale because I also worked as a teacher, a substitute teacher at Scarsdale High School. And then I got hired as a permanent sub. And then I was coaching the team, the JV team. And I always remember I had this kid named Chris Derlin on the team. He was, and his parents come up and say, hey, he's a forward. He was like a Norwegian kid. I don't know. He's going up front and he's nice left foot. But and then I had this other kid on the team, Peter Pessoas, a Brazilian kid, playing in the middle of the field, and typical like a regista, boom, touches the ball, goes here, goes there. And, and then I had a couple of good athletes. I mean, the team was not that bad. So I had to decide. But the only thing that Chris would do up front is he would never get the ball. He would never get the service. And I said, you know what? I said, let me put you, I said, you're going to be one of the 3 backs. You're going to play in the back. So I played him in the back. And he ended up being my leading scorer. Because, I was in the midfield. I said, when you get the ball, Chris, you come up. Send him up on the wing. He'd come up. He would at left foot. He'd come up, and then sometimes when he was swinging balls across and nobody was getting on the end of it, I put him on the right side. I said, "Give him on the right side." So now he'd come in and hook that ball with his left foot into the goal. He scored goals, and it's all, And like
Perfect
coaching I can tell you another instance which involves him when they had their team. We had our first game of the State Cup. We were going to get eliminated by this team up in Shenandoah or something. And I forget the name of the team, but the wind is like 100 miles an hour. And we got the win in the first half. Guys shooting. We had the ball in their half. No ball would go in. Over the top, to the side. 0-0 at the half. Everybody. I had 3 assistant coaches. Everybody put their head down. No, we're going to get killed now in a second. So everybody's giving suggestions. I said, guys, please step aside. I said, guys, listen to me. This is what we got to do. I said, we're going against the wind. We didn't lose. He said, don't listen to anybody. He says, I said, we didn't score. Guess what? And guess what? They defended. Now we have to defend now. Yeah. But what we have is we got James in the middle of the field. We got Dustin. We had a good, solid. We got Joey Morgan in the back, who was like, he was like Baresi for me. And he was a vacuum. This kid was unbelievable. He's a little brother. Peter was he played up front. The kid was about 2'2". He get his head on the ball. Every ball that came in his head. Anyways, James, and we had this kid, John Mike Nabias, Portuguese kid. He was unbelievable. I mean, the kid could dribble. Everybody said, oh, he's a ball hawk. I said, he's on my team. Let him be a ball hawk. I say, listen, John Mike, you get the ball on the right side. CB, James, get the ball to John Mike when we get it. Don't just kick it into the wind because it's going to come back in your face. Get it wide. And what do, John Mike? Cross it? He goes, no. You dribble. Do what you do best. Dribble down the line. And dribble as much as you can get as far as you can. Dribble. I said, your job is to dribble. I said, when you get the ball, you dribble. I don't want you to kick the ball to you. Don't kick it. Don't do anything. I said, I don't want you to kick it. When you get to the byline, I said, just, cross the ball because the wind is probably going to push it onto the field. Sure enough, it's about 10 minutes after the game. They couldn't score either. He beats this guy, crosses the ball inside the ball, and Devin Weaver goes diving header. I mean, I think he fell down and hit him in the head. But anyway, you have to embellish it. Oh, what a beautiful diving header. Yeah. Devin, boom. Hey, ball hits him in the head, goes into the corner. We win 1-0. And we survived. That's the year we went to the State Cup final. We could have lost. We won the State Cup, and we could have lost on that game against the Wind.
Little detail.
So the detail is this. Getting back to the question, is Marcello Lippi, who the coach has the ultimate responsibility to decide what you have on the field and how to manage the game so that you have an advantage and end up winning the game. The first goal is to, and I always said, it's the Italian mentality. If you don't score, you don't win.
Yep. So
you defend well. And then you take your chances. And when your chances come, hey, you win 1-0, you win. You don't have to win 10-0. Oh, that was a slaughter. Who cares about a slaughter? You're playing a tough team, you win 1-0, you do what you're supposed to do on the field. That was Marcello Lippi. That's Guardiola. That's Ancelotti.
Allegri
for sure.
Allegri, I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, we'll get another pass.
I'm not going to critique him because he's had his better days, and I just.
Yeah, we'll move on. Where were you when Italy won the 2006 FIFA World Cup?
Oh my God!
I know this answer.
I was at home, and it was. That was a great time. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Because it was a chance for me and my brothers and my son to watch the game with my dad. And I still remember he was sitting there standing in front of the TV waiting for the penalties and stuff. And me and John and Hugo, my brothers, are around his back. And James was on top of my shoulder. I don't know. And when they won the game, and I could see tears in my father's eyes. And I just just kissing the top of his bald head. And we're like, oh God, that was such a feeling.
Yeah,
unbelievable feeling.
Unbelievable. Same thing for me. Watching it with my dad. Great. Yeah. It was awesome.
There's nothing better than that.
Nothing better. Yeah. What is your favorite? Who is your favorite team and why?
Okay, my favorite team is, as everybody knows, Juventus. And, although we're suffering these days.
Yes.
We don't know how to, maybe something. And I like Juventus because of the history, the history that Juventus has had all these years. Actually, I was a Juventus fan when I was in Italy. And they would Sivori and John, they had this player, John Haller. He was, I think, from I think it was Wales. I don't know. He was Welsh or
Welsh.
He was from Great Britain, anyways. Yeah. One of the British Isles. And this guy was like 6'7", and he was a forward. I always remember him scoring a goal where the ball got crossed and the goalkeeper went up to get it, and he jumped over the goalkeeper and headed the ball into the net.
Wow. He was Peter Crouch before Peter
uh,
Crouch, huh?
before Peter Crouch, it was impressive. And you could never, and like in Italy, we couldn't ever see that unless you went to the
To the
to
actual
a place
stadium.
where there was only one place in town that had a TV. And we would watch, but and you wouldn't get in there because there were all the adults were there, right?
Yeah.
And but when we would listen to the games, we didn't go. We went to my cousin's house, who lived up the street, and he would have a transistor radio, and they would announce the game. And you had picture 15 kids, 20 kids standing over here listening to the radio while the guy was announcing the game. So I learned, from and imagining what the players were doing on the field because the announcers over there, it was telecasted, not telecasted. It was broadcast. So, but it was a great thing, and it still is. I like it.
Love it. Next question is, what is the secret to being the best player?
That's not from experience. The secret to being the best player.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, first of all, the secret to being the best player is to have the love, the passion. It's like, you just can't live without this, the ball in the game, and you'll hear that from every player. If you listen to an interview with a lot of the great players, the secret to being the best player is to love the game, to be responsible for yourself and responsible for others, to be organizing your thoughts and in your mind and in the way you carry yourself. Like you could tell, like whenever I played, you could tell the best players that will come onto the field, they have a certain characteristic which is related to the game. We took a tour once and had this one kid on the team in Italy, and he went and just touched the ground, kissed the ground, looked up to the sky. To have faith, to have a faith that there's someone up there looking after you while you're on the field. If you look at most of the players, they do the sign of the cross or they point to the sky. Faith is very important in becoming the best player. The other thing is, who are you responsible to? Who's raising you? Responsible to the people that are raising you, your family, your parents. Being responsible, also responsible and being loyal to a club. You asked me what's your favorite team. I grew up with Juventus, and Juventus. I'm going to die with Juventus as my team that I like. And if you have an allegiance to a group that you feel has stimulated or made you, made you want to play this game and love it as much as you do, then that's who you're loyal to. And there is nobody that's going to make you a great player more than yourself. I told that to the group of kids that we took to Italy last year. I said, I'm not going to do anything that you're not going to do for yourself. And, I get a lot of kids today that, oh, yeah, well, I want to go to this college. Can you put in a good word? And I said, you're going to put in the good word. Any kid that shows themselves with this kind of attitude and you take care of yourself. And when you're talking about responsibility for yourself is, what you get involved with, how you eat, what kind of nutrition do you have, how do you train, how do you approach the time off the field. What are you doing off the field before you get on the field? That's the best player. Best player takes care of himself and makes sure that that you could collaborate with another 10 guys on the field. Because if you can be this guy that has all the skills in the world, all the talent, but if your mind, your brain is not on the field collectively with the rest of the team,
it'll be tough.
The best player to me in college, I always remember, is Mickey Rooney. His name was.
Love it.
Can't say college.
Love that answer.
Born leader. Any leader is the best. Go ahead.
Next question. I think this is the last question. What do you hope for the future of the club?
Uh, let me see. What I hope for. Well, all my hopes and dreams have been reached. I always wanted to have a home for kids, to play the game the way I learned how to play the game, to be free, and to also have people who inspire them that have the same mentality. That's why all the kids that grew up here, I pretty much always look to get them to work here, along with some professionals that that haven't worked here but have a good experience. My hope, I think, for this club and for the academy is the lifeblood of the club. I always thought, and the club is, I'm not looking for trophies and being the best. That's why I just want to be one of the best. I'm getting back to my buck. And one of the best means if you're going to be a great player, honor the things that I just talked about. What makes the best player? If you're going to be the best teams, there are three things that I've emphasized throughout my entire life: skill, sportsmanship, self-discipline. You get a mindset as a player and as a team to honor these three things, and not only one kid is going to be the best, every kid's going to be the best on the team. That's my goal, is to continue in that premise, continue to build the academy and influence as many kids as we can who have the support of their parents, their community, and I know that they're going to get the right caring here in this place, because I have tremendous amount of trust and faith in the people that James has put together for this academy, including the leadership team in this academy, our partners who are. This is, we're a family, and you guys, we say you're a family, but we're not a family where you guys come home and every day. I would love it. And we built that barn over there, and my dream for the future is to turn that barn into dorms, and all you guys are living. And then have all the kids come in. That's a family, but we love the family atmosphere. I want to continue as a family, and I want to impress as many people as I can. I want everybody to be successful. Not only the kids, but our staff and our organization. And, I want people to know that if you're wearing my name or my emblem on your shirt and you're representing me, that's who you are.
Beautifully said. Love it. There's actually one last question.
Uh-oh.
And this came from someone you know very, very well. I believe it was your niece, Erica.
Oh.
And she wants to know. Oh, was it Laura? It was Laura. Sorry, Laura. My apologies. What is your favorite sandwich?
If Laura's asking, I made her one when she came back, but she got married. Un filoncino.
And what is that?
Bel filoncino is a nice Italian combo with prosciutto, mozzarella, right? Fresh mozzarella, though.
Yeah, you gotta go fresh.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Okay. Fresh mozzarella, prosciutto, soppressata in there too.
Spicy or regular?
Well, I think it depends on the taste. Usually, if people don't have a tendency for the hot stuff, then you do the regular. But
I'm a spicy.
Personally, I like the hot stuff. And finally, you cannot have a filoncino without mortadella.
Mm.
Now, people put like lettuce and tomatoes on it. I like roasted pepper.
Mm.
A little
interesting.
Roasted pepper over it, olive oil, a little Italian seasoning, maybe a little lettuce mixed in with it. But otherwise,
love it.
You can leave the tomatoes out, or you can put them in. Whatever
Making
you want.
Me hungry, Joe. Solid recommendation. Try
well-
ordering that at your next your
Well,
local
I'll
deli.
tell you what. What do we? I think I'll get all the ingredients, and maybe for the league on Saturday,
That'd
I'll
be
make a
amazing.
couple of filoncinos for the staff. Who's working on Saturday?
I'll be here on Saturday.
You'll be here.
I actually have one last question too, Joe. One last question.
Oh, Nick, you're not going to be here. Oh, you will.
I have
Oh,
one
okay.
last question
Yeah.
because you had mentioned it earlier in the podcast about nicknames. What was James's nickname growing up, and what was my nickname growing up?
Of course, we had James' nickname was Roberto Baggio. All right. Well, he had to be.
Did he have the
because I-
rat tail? Did he have the rat tail like Baggio?
Yeah.
No, you didn't have the braids. Oh,
Now,
okay.
I'm not sure if you were Pippo Inzaghi. Is that the one?
That's the one.
Pippo Inzaghi,
That was it.
the famous poacher, a good friend of mine who played for AC Milan. He told me that Pippo Inzaghi. I said, "Well, what do you think of Inzaghi?" He says he was born offside.
So true.
But guess what?
We always push the limit.
He always gave that. He got that winner.
Yep.
Header, knee,
Anything.
shin, shoulder.
Didn't
back.
matter.
VAR would challenge.
Yeah, if
Oh yeah.
if he was around nowadays, I don't
Oh
know,
yeah. He'd be offside.
exactly.
He
Well,
would lose about a ton.
I'm
of
gonna
goals.
give this to James. Joe, thank you so much for your time. I thought this was a great first episode. We got a lot of knowledge, a lot of laughs, a lot of insight. So thank you very much for being here today.
It's been my pleasure, and if you don't mind, I'll come again, maybe in the 10th episode. What do you say?
That would be much appreciated. Just to close, well, first of all, on the favorite sandwich, I thought that, and this is more like you, I thought that you were going to say or ask back, what's your favorite sandwich? Because I find you enjoy serving more than indulging yourself.
Yes.
And
because-
you could make any sandwich. No, trust me, you like to eat, but you like to make others feel proud of themselves and make them feel filled, whether that's with food or with love.
knowledge.
You do it, or with
You know.
knowledge. You do it in many ways. So, how? The sandwich, great input there, and just to close
up.
the whole podcast. What would be your final thoughts that you could share with the youth today?
You know what? That's a good question. I would say, change is good, and there have been so many changes in the game, and everything revolves around improvement, change for improvement, or let's look at things to make the game better, or make this. Like now they have that rule about the blue card that they're going to introduce. So game has evolved and constantly change. We've had so much change that my philosophy is right now that my advice for the kids is to change back to some of the things, and to have less and do more on the field, have less aid, like who have the best, don't go looking at all this high tech stuff like I seen this thing that they have, this ball that they came up with years ago that you tie it around your waist and you learn how to juggle. I mean, merchandising and marketing has become such a brain twister that, so if a kid's going to be good, change back to the time when a kid used to juggle a grapefruit, like Pele said, or, juggle a ball on your own and do it 10 times. Don't do it 100 times with a thing attached to your waist, but
And love it.
and love it. Love to do it. I mean, I've seen it from James growing up. I've seen it from a lot of kids. I mean, I look at right now, we have a young lady who plays for Portland Thorns, and she's just playing for the national team, right? When this girl came over here, she had a ball on her foot all the time. All she cared about was the ball. All she wanted to do was, and yeah, we trained her a little bit. It came for training, but the game. You look at her. The game's already in her. Where is she today? She's on the national team. Her name is Samantha Coffey. For those of you who don't know, follow her. She is unbelievable. She is, and I have kids that are now. We have kids here that have a future. And before that, there's Kurt Callow, right? What did he do when he came here?
Bicycle
Always
kick.
on the ball, bicycle kicks, trying all kinds of things. One of the best young players in the country, I think. And you got all these programs and all this change. We need to do this, and we got to use this system or that system. Stick with what you learned from the beginning. Make sure that your skills are important, yes, and your body is important too. That all goes to say with what I was just saying before about the best player, the best team. Change back to some of the things that we used to do. Not ancient like me, but like some of you guys, the coaches that we have here, you're the role models. Show them some stuff. The kids are going to learn by imitating, and this is the way that I see a good future for this. And with the people that I mean, just you guys here in the room, plus the other coaches that we have here, it's sky's the limit. And I wish for the kids to continue to work, to listen to their coaches, and to continue to love the game as much as they do, or as they show us that they do.
Excellent. Well, Joe, thank you for those final thoughts. From being coached by a priest to now being the...
I wasn't coached by a priest. He just set up things.
All right, so by a community organizer of a priest in town to owning your own school in Putnam Valley, New York. It's been a long journey just here on this podcast. You've shared so much stories, so many stories, so much valuable information that everybody can take away. And it's been an honor, and I'm extremely grateful to have spent this time with you, Dad. And it's
Dad.
It's a great start. It's a great start to, as I started the podcast, what we want to do, share the message of the Academy, bring people closer together, and better understanding of the mission and how people can continue to make themselves better in every way possible. And if they can use the game because they love soccer to make themselves better, perfect. And inspire our youth to be better themselves. And this is the mission. And Joe, your words have been extremely motivating and influential. And it's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you today.
The pleasure is mine. It's all mine. Getting back to see my kids, my kids.
You all can follow him on Instagram. Coach Joe Palumbo, I believe, is the handle.
Coach Joe Palumbo.
And
but I'm not a coach anymore.
He's not a coach, but he was a coach. And
I'm a mentor.
That's his handle. He also has a book in the Pro Shop, One of the Best, if anybody wants to get their hands on that. And also on Amazon, you can follow him in many ways, and he'll be here periodically throughout the year in many ways. So thank you.
I'll be here.
My co-host, Angelo, anything you have to add?
Best.
No, he's all good. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.